Hello, everyone. I just wanted to close your eyes real quick and just think about a beautiful time you spent. Surrounded by nature, maybe next to a cliff or a canyon, and just, breathtaking forests, hiking through everything. It could have happened by a national park. And today I'm going to go ahead and inform you about national parks in the U.S. and where it began and why it plays such an important role in both conservation but public recreation, right? Going outside and just having a good time. And this system is maintained by the National Park Service, the NPS, and it's used by 300 million people every year. Making it one of the most impactful government programs related to environmentalism and public well-being, which is really big in my opinion. And let's go ahead and look at what the national parks and what they do to nature and people. National parks are federally protected lands set aside for the beauty, ecological importance, and the cultural significance. So really big things. And they are managed by the NPS, a federal agency that was created in 1916. According to the National Park Service in 2024, the annual report, there is currently 63 official national parks, which all are beautiful in their own way and unique. And they are over 420, okay? 420 national park units, including historic sites, monuments, seashores, and recreation areas, okay? These are spread across 50 states and their U.S. territories. And now that we understand what they are, right? You can use the NPS app to look for this one that's close to you. Let's look at where it all began, right? Where they were created. The first national park, of course, is Yellowstone, which was established in 1817 to preserve the unique geothermal features. A beautiful wildlife that was marked the beginning of global movement to protect the natural areas, which was given by our beautiful president, Theodore Roosevelt. A national park was officially established by Congress in 1916 under the Organic Act, which was directed agency for the conservative scenery in the national historic objects and the wildlife. Now, for the enjoyment of the future generations, just our beautiful kids and so forth, these areas are protected not just for the beauty, for the biodiversity, so I can learn about nature, climate preservation, climate heritage, and the educational value. Besides conservation, of course, the national parks offer real benefit to public and the economy. If you really think about it, you got to donate and pay to get in sometimes. Unless you're in the army, you get to go in for free, right? But millions of people visit national parks every year for really recreation, relaxation, and education. The young scouts. And activities, they include hiking, camping, wildlife viewing, photography, and so forth, right? And according to 2024 by the Pew Charitable Trust, the national parks generates over $42 billion in annual income, which supports over 3,400,000 jobs in local communities and tourism-related businesses, right? You got to find places to eat. And additionally, national parks provide opportunities for environmental education and inspiring conservation values in younger, generations to, just not stay home and play games, but go out and enjoy the life that they have. And so, with all this information I want to give you, I just want you to think about, national parks are more scenic vacations, and they're actually carefully managed with public lands that preserve the country's natural, wonders and cultural treasures. And just looking back what I've talked about today, and I share, national parks, and who they are and the people that just conserve it and the history that they have and just how it benefits both people and the economy. And I just want to thank you so much for sitting around and listening, and go outside, enjoy a national park.